Hello, my loves. I keep going to say, Happy Sunday, but it's not. I'm used to my Sunday soul sessions, which will be making a comeback, I must say, in 2019. They felt out of alignment there for a little bit, so yes. All right, my love, are you ready? I can't add you. Have you got your phone sideways, Kate? It's not letting me add, but I did wave at you. How's everyone's night, or day, or week? I can't believe it's Christmas next week. Amazing. It's getting super exciting with my kitties because they are starting to get into the spirit of Christmas, which is awesome. All right. Hi, Lino. Lino. I feel like a lot of people are going to be out doing their last minute Christmas shopping. Sky, hi beautiful, how you going? Hi Allison, make sure you say hello when you're jumping on. Chuck a little love heart and a comment in the comments telling us one thing you are grateful for today. Just waiting for Kate to jump on. Nope, no life here. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Kate, approve. Hi Lisa, hi Kate. Make sure when you jump on, guys, that you tell us one thing that you are grateful for. Hi, beautiful.
Hello. Sorry, so many funny things happened. I tried to get on and then I pressed my music on and it was hilarious. I'm here. I'm finally here.
You're here, yay. There's always something with these videos.
Oh,
hey, you just got
my God.
Take it in your stride.
Yes. Oh,
how are you? Oh,
so good.
Yeah,
Look
at
so
our
good to be
background.
here. I know, twinsies, just different colors.
So good. All right, so hello everybody. Thanks for jumping on. Who have we got? So we'll just go through and say a quick hi to Lino, Sky, Allison, Kate Whelan, Lisa, Julie, Chris, Jason. Make sure you say hello when you jump on. Give us some love hearts and tell us one thing that you're grateful for in the comments. How are you, ladies? I'm fucking amazing. How are you, Kate?
Fucking amazing.
So good. That's the best.
We're breathing. How could we be anything but amazing?
No, we're here, right? How does it get any better than that?
It doesn't. Other than matching backgrounds, that is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, and actually getting onto the live first try. That was
yes.
All right, cool. So, welcome everybody. I'm joined tonight by this gorgeous, divine creature. She's just amazing. And for those of you who don't know Kate, or who haven't had anything to do or met this beautiful person before, maybe you can just give everyone a little bit of an idea of who you are, what you do, and yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'm always tempted to just say something really ridiculous when people ask me this.
Just do it.
Oh, I work as, I'm a undertaker at the local, crematorium. That's what I do.
Why not?
Every time I'm so tempted. So, all jokes aside, my name's Kate Chiffey Gray, and otherwise known as a spiritual compass. My role or my dharma here in the world is to lead people home to the wisdom in their own hearts. And I do that through using plant medicine, self-inquiry, yogic, Buddhist philosophies, a lot of ancient wisdom. So a lot of what I work with is very old, thousands of years old, but the wisdom has never been lost, and your heart recognizes it, even if your mind doesn't. So I work with awakening people's hearts.
And so, like, you really do. Like, amazing. So I recently did a 5-day challenge with you called, was it Ancient Awakening in the Woke as Fuck Tribe? Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
And it was absolutely incredible. And reading that text, is it Sin Sin Ming? The
Sing Sing
Verses of
Ming,
the Perfect Mind. And I read it and I felt like I knew it already. And it was just a remembering. It's so powerful. Hey, so how did you kind of get into all this?
Wow. Well, when I was a kid, my uncle was a follower of Osho, a disciple of Osho. And so he used to write me these beautiful letters and send me these cards when I was about 6, 7 years old. And my mum used to let me read them, which is kind of wild because he was saying some far out stuff in it, but she gave it to me anyway. And a lot of the teachings were based in this like ancient wisdom, this Chinese wisdom. He was talking about, you know, how Easter is actually from Ishtar, it's a fertility god, and talking about the Celtic gods and goddesses. And then he was speaking about Christmas actually being a pagan festival where Emperor Constantine wanted to bring the pagans, like all this stuff. And it started me really questioning the status quo and questioning, you know, what we're taught to believe, and this idea of this paradigm where we exchange time for money and we have to be unhappy and we have all these protocols we have to do to be human. And I was like, there has to be more to life, right? There has to be. Like, why are we here? And I remember writing essays just for fun when I was in high school about, you know, why are we here, and looking into like human rights issues, like why is there racism? And I remember watching the movie about Steve Biko at like 14 and then writing all this stuff about trying to understand why there's this separation in humanity. And that's where it started. And then I went off the rails and went a bit crazy. And, you know, there was a lot of wounding that I brought into this world, like prenatally and generationally. And so I lived through that. I had a bit of a drug addiction. I lived on the street for a bit. And then my dad passed, and holding his hand while he passed away was a catalyst change for me. And then I decided to go to uni, and I really took control back of my life. And, you know, that was 17 years ago.
Yeah, wow, amazing. And it's incredible actually that, because death for me was my catalyst for massive change as well. And I think that kind of slap in the face and that realization of this is happening now. Like, it's not a test run. Like, this is your life.
No.
It was that real like click back and snap back into reality, because I was much like you. I found a lot of this kind of more spiritual ancient text and had this knowing that there was so much more to life than what we were told it had to be. And I started going down that path, and then myself went off the rails, and whether it was the drugs and the alcohol and the boyfriends and the sex and all the things. All the things. And it was so much fun, and I'm so grateful because I had some incredible like experiences through that time. But that really I had a friend who died very suddenly of a drug overdose, and that was my like holy shit, like catalyst for huge change. Huge change.
There's nothing like the impermanence of existence to really slap you in the face. It's like boom. Wake up. Like, you're gonna die. That's the only way out, right?
Yes, absolutely. And being so miserable and knowing that you're so fucking miserable and watching yourself continuing in the same patterns over and over again, and just going, when is it gonna end? Like, what, you deserve more than that, you know? So it was huge. Yes. So funny thinking back on it. So what I really loved about the challenge actually when we were getting into it was that it just felt like that really deep, like I really resonated with so much of the text and what we were going through, and like the whole judgment stuff, and really it felt really like a coming home to myself. Like I felt like I was really remembering who I was. So for someone that doesn't kind of understand that, or kind of can't logically get their mind around it, or is a bit more curious about what it is that we're talking about, how would you kind of explain that to them?
Wow. Yeah, it's a good question. It can't be explained to the mind. The mind will try and compartmentalize and figure it out. I encourage people to go outside into nature and smell the fresh air and feel the earth beneath their feet and look at the glorious trees and the ocean and the sky and feel what that does to your body. Feel the expansion and this knowingness that there's only like oneness. There's only connection to all that is and all that ever was. Allow that to permeate into your cells and let that be the thing that allows you to begin to remember there's more than what we think. There's more than what we're told is real or right and wrong. Allow that feeling to be your guide. Allow the expansiveness of that feeling to guide you, because that remembrance is beyond logic. We can't figure it out in our mind. That's actually where most people get stuck on this path, to be honest.
So the remembrance is more a feeling in the body as opposed to something that you can actually think.
Yeah, it's like, yes, there's a time and a place for logical knowledge. Yes, like we need to, we do leverage the logical mind and the psychological self to a point in the work that we do. But the remembering is a deep resonance within our soul that permeates through every cell in our body. It's like a coming home, like a hug from the cosmos. And it's beyond logical understanding. Like, we even call teaching pointings, because I can't teach anybody this. Anytime I'm teaching, I'm only teaching based on my assumption and past experience. So that's so limited. But what I work with is pointing people back to the wisdom in their own heart. I can't share with you my experience of it, because that's my experience. That's my perception based on my human experience. So what we work on doing is creating a safe container for people to cellularly begin to awaken and remember, and the wisdom drops in without cerebral activity. It's just a knowingness. Like, if you've ever experienced intuition, like people, there's just a knowingness that it's that knowingness that there's something greater at play here than what we see before us, what we think and what we're told is the way that we should be.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. And I definitely notice like those times when you're feeling really overwhelmed and in your head, like today I had a day on the computer doing my bookwork, and I was just like, so I got up and I walked to the shops, and I came back and I looked around and I was just in awe of this nature. And I stopped because I had to, because you know how you have those days where everything just looks heightened, like everything is so crisp, and the sky was this incredible color blue, and the bark on the tree was so intricate, and the ants were running up, and I had to stop and just be in that moment. And for me, that's really that's my kind of reconnection and my remembering of that. I am one with this. I am part of that. And so often, so many of us walk through life where we're so up in here and we're all like thinking and thinking and thinking and not being. So it's very much about bringing back to the presence. Would you say that?
Yes. And nature is the most beautiful way to do that. Like, it's reconnection. Like, in the West, we're so disconnected from anything below here. Like, it's all up in here, which is why when people, work in this spiritual realm in the West, particularly in the New Age area, they get really lost with all these cerebral, like if you look at even personal development from Robbins to NLP to, hypnotherapy, they're all great modalities, yet often they still keep us up here. So when we deal with ancient wisdom, what they do is they reconnect us to the source of who we are. From even the Bible in Genesis says, from the earth we came, to the earth will return, or from dust we came, to dust will return. So by coming back out into things like nature, it reminds us that we are more than the mind. We are more than our psychology, that there's something greater at play here. And so things like that, anything that brings us back into the moment, whether it's meditation, whether it's chanting, whether it's prayer, whether it's going outside and looking at the trees or the sky, all that's doing is it's allowing us to find that sweet spot, which is the here and now. And the here and now is all that exists. But because we're so in our damn heads and we're so thinking about the past or the future and trying to figure it all out, we're never actually in the here and now. So whatever you find, allow it to bring you into the here and now. So you go beyond your psychology, beyond your programs, beyond your conditioning, beyond the human, and you actually touch the essence of who you are, which can only be discovered in the here and the now.
Yes. It just makes me like tingle. What was I here? I heard something the other day. It was like the past and the present are figments of the imagination, and all that exists, and anything and everything that we will ever experience exists right here in this moment.
Yes.
And it was just like, yes, like it is. It's everything. Even like whatever we experience now will become our past and was once our future or whatever. It's happening right now in this moment.
Yes.
And that's just so beautiful. You're like, okay, so here now, this is all that there is, and this is what I get to live. And it's such a beautiful reminder.
It is beautiful, and like we're so conditioned to not be that way. Like our society, like the Western culture perpetuates like past and future, like conditioning, like obsession with, you know, the future, how we're going to build it, how much money we're going to make it. All these things are fine. I'm not judging them. They're a part of this existence. They're all still part of God because they exist, right? But if we are so busy like obsessing over the past or the future, we're not actually truly living. And the thing with the mind is, you know, I did a video with Matt the other day, and somebody commented, I made a comment about the modern mental health, you know, industry, how it's failing. And they're like, it's lack of funding. And I'm like, I disagree, like completely. And that's okay. I don't have a need to be right. But if we look at the way that we deal with, you know, in psychology and being in that field, they talk about the past constantly. They talk about the past. So all we're doing is reliving or dealing with the present based on our past experiences and assumptions. Based on results, your past experience, assumptions, and thinking created the mess that you're in now. So by only talking and focusing on that, you're only going to perpetuate more of that. So it's actually not going to work. Like we need to actually reconnect with the truth, with our heart, with our essence in order to begin to heal. And that only can happen in the present moment. And it can't happen up here. It doesn't happen up here.
I saw a psychologist for a good couple of years, and yes, I got so much out of it, but at the same time, it wasn't until I really started dropping into my heart space, my womb space, and reconnecting back with my body that I really started to notice like the shifts.
Yes,
So
and there's a time and a place for all of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I actually like the molding, like the coming together of the two, because I think it can dance really beautifully together, but not if you're focusing 100% on the past. Like I personally like to be able to kind of grasp an idea of where people have been to then be able to help them like be present and living and dealing with what's going on for them. But yes, solely focusing on, well, this is where you've been and this is where we want to get to, it just doesn't work.
Yes. Well, the only way we can teach is through the past. So when I teach somebody, if I'm teaching in discourse, I'm only teaching based on my experience of the past. And when they're sharing with me, even if we're talking about what I think about the present moment, it's only based on my assumptions of the past. So that's only limited because I can only speak from what I've experienced. The brain sees 1 to 3% of what's in front of us. That 1 to 3% in which it sees, it actually it creates based on assumptions of our past experiences. So whilst we're relying on our perception, we're only going to create more of the same shit. Yes. So we have to transcend that in some way and look beyond the conditioning, beyond the perception, that other 97 to 99% of what is actually there that we can't see because we're not conditioned to.
I remember when you told us that at the retreat, I was just like, oh, fuck, are you kidding? Like, that's just crazy. Like 3%. So imagine, like you said, what we are missing. It's just... or not seeing because of our conditioning. It's crazy. Yeah.
It's so crazy. That talk I gave you guys to watch in the challenge, the one with the professor of neuroscience.
Oh, yes.
Where he goes, and he gives the example of like the colors. It's like, what? Like,
yeah.
It's just such a tangible example. Yeah.
So I did want to ask you, like, for someone who's watching this and is going, well, I can't get out of my head. What kind of would you suggest for them to start being able to like get out of there and tapping more into here?
Yeah. Body work. So Osho was huge on this. Like, he was like, so many Westerners come to me and their minds are so busy they can't possibly sit and meditate. And so he created active meditations, whether it be Kundalini, whether it be dynamic meditation, even yoga. It's all a form of moving the body and syncing the breath and the thoughts into that movement. So it's a way of training the mind to sync with the body. And through time, that will actually allow us to get out of our heads. So I recommend anything like that. Definitely dynamic meditation, Kundalini meditation, dance, what else was I saying? Yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, all of those things will help you begin to quieten the mind through movement. Some people just can't sit still. It sends them insane. So they need to move. And that's okay. Move. If that's your entry point, move. Do that.
And then eventually you'll slowly be able to get to that space where you can sit in the stillness because my meditation, so I can do 30 minutes now. I've worked up to 30 minutes, sitting, and they go so quickly and they're so incredible. Like, and even since doing that challenge with you, they've just expanded even more to where I'm just like getting these incredible downloads and just feeling so connected with self and hearing like intuition and hearing that that source, I guess, and really connecting. It's so beautiful. Meditation is so powerful.
So powerful. It's a remembering. We're just reconnecting into our truth, the truth beyond story, thoughts, mind, beliefs. It's that resonance. So beautiful.
I just want to sit in it. I love it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes.
So I also wanted to have a chat to you about your plant medicines as well. So I journeyed with Kate. When was that? Far out. At Abigail's birthday.
2 months ago? Yeah.
No, it was only a month ago.
Okay, a month ago. Time.
Yeah, time. Yeah, okay. What is time?
Yes.
And it was really, really beautiful. Really beautiful. I had a beautiful experience. I'm looking forward to doing another one of your retreats.
Yes.
So can you just explain a bit more about plant medicine and what that actually is and looks like?
Yes, another controversial topic.
And for me, I was going into it and I was terrified. Like, I'm like, what is this shit? I'm going to fucking trip out. I'm going to have all sorts of stuff. But it was a really beautiful experience.
Yeah. So. Plant medicine is essentially an entry point into the present moment. It takes us beyond our conditioning and it allows us to touch our essence. When done with the incorrect integration and the incorrect guidance, it can just become another construct, like anything, like meditation, like yoga, same stuff. But when actually used in a container that allows us to remember, it can literally be like 20 years of personal development in like one evening. Like, there's some medicines like 5-MeO-DMT, which is, my medicine of choice. If I could work with anyone, if I could suggest anything for anyone, it would be that with correct integration. It literally skyrockets you forward in ways that you can never imagine because you experience your truth. You don't just think about it. Till that point, even with years of meditation, it's still a mental construct for many people. If we can give them the opportunity to experience their truth, where their identity disappears for a period of time and they experience what they would say in spiritual realms, ego death, that is enough to propel people forward to make rapid changes in their life. Rapid, because they taste who they truly are for a period of time. And that is why it's like 20 years of personal development in one evening or week.
Wow.
Huge, massive. Like, we just came back from an 8-day retreat in Vanuatu and wow, it was the first time we did an 8-day one, and it was the first time we used the toad, the 5-MeO-DMT in there. And just like after people experienced that, everyone was running up to me going, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me who we truly were? I was like, because words don't describe it. Like, you need to experience it. Or they're like, you knew. I'm like, yes, of course I did. But how can I tell you the absolute? It's going to be limited through words. It's best that I show you. Well, the medicine shows you. And it was phenomenally, I don't even have words for what happened to people, including me during that 8 days. It transformed me as well. So, if anyone's thinking about that, I highly recommend, we have one in the end of March, another 8 days. Is that in
Vanuatu again?
Yes. It's only 2.5 hours from Brisbane. It's not even very far.
Easy. And it's beautiful over there. It's so gorgeous. And your mum did it, didn't she?
Yeah.
I was just like, go mum, that is awesome. Like the best.
Yes.
And she loved it.
She loved it. She said to me, I've never been so happy in all my life. Like it allowed her this container to heal. I did no teaching during that retreat. We did one part where we did Sing Sing Ming. The rest was literally holding space for people to work with the medicines, to allow them silence, meditation, and movement so they can discover their own truth. And she walked out of there healing from wounds she'd carried for 32 years. Like 32 years she couldn't process this stuff. She processed it in 10 minutes on the 5-MeO DMT. 10 minutes. Like extraordinary stuff. Like it's life-changing. It's a game changer.
Yeah, and especially because I think too, like for someone like your mum who's a bit older and a slightly different generation, to actually go through that and experience such shifts is like, it's really, it really makes you kind of, I don't know why, but it just makes you think about it really a lot differently. It's like, oh, okay, well maybe it's not so bad. Or
well, she'd never done any personal development. She had no idea what I did. Like 2 weeks before that, she comes to me and she's like, Kate, why do you work with mushrooms? Why do you give people mushrooms?
Can we find out, Mum?
I explained it and she's like, what about the other medicines? And I explained that. She's like, well, when can I do it? And I said, funnily enough, I have a retreat in 2 weeks. Would you like to come? And she said, okay. So off we went. She did the dynamic meditations. Yeah. Oh, it was life-changing for me to see that. Like, you know, we healed like generational trauma. Like there's no doubt, because everything's unfolding in one moment. So the work that you do as an individual, like this is for everyone, you're healing your generational line at the same time, because it's all happening now anyway. Time is not linear. That's an illusion.
Yes. I was listening, because I'm listening to Conversations with God at the moment, the second book, and he was talking about time and that, and I was just sitting there going, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Like, what are we doing to ourselves? Like the whole construct that we've put on, like time on. And it's just it's so crazy when you hear it spoken in that way. It was just like, you know, you've got you've got your world, like this spaceship that's traveling through space, which is the planet, and you've decided that it circulates the world in this many days. And you could have chosen, you know, so I can't even get my words out right. But he's talking about, you know, you've chosen 365 days and you could have chosen 704. Like, it's just like this stuff. And that's been really massive for me, and that realization that every single thing in society that we actually experience was a decision made by one person, that everyone jumped on board and went, yes, let's. And then it's become like, this is the way you have to live your life. And I'm just like, well, fuck, that doesn't actually work for me. And really stepping into that space has been really beautiful. Because that realization is just freedom.
It's huge. And that's your belief systems as well. That's what most people are living their life by, a decision somebody else has made between what's right or wrong, or who they are, whether they're smart or sporty or dumb or skinny or overweight. Like, that was someone else's idea and perception of you, and you took it on because that's the way that we condition ourselves when we're kids. Like, that's your whole life for most people. And then having kids and trying not to, well, being a conscious parent and, you know, trying not to, but, you know, trying not to actually put that stuff on them as well, and allow them that space to expand and grow in their own way. It's, I'm grateful for the consciousness, but then you catch yourself doing things and you're like, shit. It's still there. So you've got a mentorship coming up, which I'm very, very grateful to have been won a spot in, which is amazing. You're the winner.
I'm so excited. Yeah, it was incredible. You should have seen me when I found out. I was like, like losing it. It was amazing.
We're so excited to have you.
Oh, it's going to be so good. And I just wanted to kind of get you to chat about that a little bit, and what it is that you actually, like, what is going on in there, and the texts and everything, so that people can kind of have a bit of an idea on what's
for sure. So it's all about unlocking ancient wisdom. So ancient wisdom has been around for thousands of years, but because of our society evolving cerebrally and being very disconnected, you know, on a micro and macro level through the political system, the socioeconomic system, the religious system, what's happened is this wisdom has been diluted. So the intention for this mentorship is to awaken and go back to the source and the essence of this original wisdom and learn how to embody it and integrate it into your life, so you become solid and completely grounded no matter what is met your way. Life is going to life. Shit happens. That's part of the human existence. But you will get tools that have been around for centuries that will allow you to actually navigate that with ease. So pain will happen, but suffering you will not have to choose, because you will understand how to navigate it and you'll be deeply connected with who you actually are. Then you can step into a limitless existence. Like, that's complete freedom, right? That's when we can really embody our dharma, which is
So do you think
huge.
there's a difference between pain and suffering?
Yes. Yes. We have pain. We have bodies. It's unavoidable. Like, I'm in quite a bit of DOMS pain right now from yoga this evening. And I have training with Lino tomorrow. So I know that I'm going to be in way more pain after that. So nice. It's unavoidable. Suffering we choose. Suffering is when we take that on as a part of our identity and our story and we relive it. Emotions only last for 7 minutes in our body. 7 minutes. So when we choose to suffer, we take those on and we relive them. We implant them in our nervous system. They become a part of who we be. That's suffering.
I didn't know that about emotions. That's interesting.
Yes. It's super crazy, actually. I've just got a notification I'm about to die. Not me, personally. My phone.
Your phone.
I'm not dying. Well, maybe my ego would die. That would be good. Go. I don't have very many.
How much time have you got?
Well, I have about 6%. 6%.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yes.
I think this happened with Matt too, didn't it?
It did. There's a pattern here, guys. There's a pattern. I don't charge my phone because I'm not attached to it. I need
too
to
busy
really
living
work
your
on
life.
charging
It.
Yeah.
All right. So quickly, is there anything else that you wanted to kind of share with the people around the mentorship? Because it's going to be incredible.
Yes.
So when is it starting?
It starts on it starts beginning of January, the 5th of January. Applications close on the 3rd. We have 26 beautiful souls who are journeying with us thus far. And I would like, if anyone feels expansive when they hear about it, if their soul ignites and their heart is resonant, go with that feeling. Get out of your mind, apply, and let's have a conversation. Because the mind will always want to keep you stuck in the same patterns. It will not want you to do it. It'll give you every reason not to do it. So go with the feeling, go with the resonance and the remembering. And there's always a way. You've just got to find it. And we're happy to support you and help you in that.
Yes. And that's it. Like, that ego is always, its job is to keep us safe.
Yeah.
And so often it's to our own detriment, because there's so much liberation and freedom on the other side of that when we just really look in and trust our instincts and our guts.
Exactly.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, so I'll let you jump off because you obviously are about to die, but please link everything in the comments. So anyone who's interested, I swear, the 5 days that I did with you just was massive in itself. So I can only imagine what 3 months is going to be like. I'm so looking forward to this. It's going to be incredible. And I highly recommend anyone, at least, even if you just jump over and join the Workers Fuck Tribe or friend this gorgeous woman and start following what she does and just get on board, because it's really powerful and beautiful work that this goddess is bringing to the world.
I love you.
Love you.
Thank you, sister. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.